No, I'm glad you called. This is nice.
Yeah, I am too. I really miss this.
Hey, Dad. Remember when scored all those touchdowns in the state championship game?
Yeah, I love it, man. I was really proud of you then. Love you, son.
Love you too.
But that's not how the reunion really went down. You see, Timmy never played in that state championship. He never even made the team. You see, his parents suffered from crippling debt and skyrocketing inflation, and they were never able to buy that nice new house on the east side. Their debt led to marital stress, culminating in a messy divorce, leaving Timmy to raise himself while Mom was working 3 jobs. Let's see how the reunion actually went down.
Give me your phone and your wallet, old man.
I don't have anything on me, man.
Hurry up!
Timmy? Is that you?
Dad?
Tim, I've missed you so much. It's been 15 years.
I've missed you too. Now give me your money.
Don't let this happen to your family. Call American Financing. American Financing is helping homeowners save an average of $800 a month. And there are no upfront fees to say how much you can save. And if you sign up today, you may even delay 2 mortgage payments. Call 1-800-974-6500 today. Or go to AmericanFinancing.net/Crowder.
Glad to be with you. Oh, there's a sound of apparently an old piston plane flying right overhead.
Red Baron.
Perfect time. Hey, what do Rosie O'Donnell, Ireland, a Ukraine peace deal or ceasefire, and what else? Oh, Lil Yachty? What do they all have in common? They're all happening today. Oh, also Ontario, they backed down on their tariffs. They folded.
Already?
Yeah, they folded like a cheap Canadian good. So all of that is happening today. A lot of wins to get to. Again, the theme here is if you focus on what President Trump actually does versus what he says, even those who don't really like him, you start to get a clearer picture.
Yeah.
And we are going to have an installment of Then and Now. Also, Ben & Jerry, noted homosexual ice cream salesman, they are celebrating Abortion Provider Day because that's what I want when I think ice cream, so we have a 7+1. And we also have a nice surprise for our 3rd chairman today in Rumble Premium. You want to see this man? Well, I'll introduce him first. Nick DiPaolo, funniest man alive. You can watch him, of course, here on Rumble at 5 p.m. Friday, April 25th, he's going to be at the Co-Host Music Hall, nickdip.com for his dates. Funniest man alive. Go see him live. And you want to see him lose his mind? Click that button, join Rumble Premium, because we got something for you.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I teased it. I was like, you know what? Just better to leave you in suspense.
Is it the fact that you didn't include me on the 7+1?
I literally texted you.
When?
After you called me sugar tits.
Did you really?
Well, that doesn't narrow it down.
That doesn't narrow it down. That's my whole
time.
That wasn't supposed to go to you. No. That was another fat guy.
Come on, don't disappoint me. I felt special. Our relationship is like an old worn-in shoe. It's comfortable and cheap.
And it's got dog shit on it.
Yes, it does. We'll get to Rosie O'Donnell. Hey, how are you doing, CEO Captain Morgan?
Good, how are you?
I am good. If at some point, if you haven't seen it yet, and you're still watching on YouTube, and you see this, go to Rumble. It's a live show, weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern. Major announcement this Friday, the 14th.
Yeah.
The big change is, let me ask you this, which celebrity do you want to leave America Next? Don't say Blake Lively.
Goodbye.
So this is trending everywhere, and I want to be clear here on the outset. Does this mean that Lil Yachty is now a conservative? No. Okay, I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. But I do want you to see the difference in this latest clip where he is very clear as to what he thinks regarding Black Lives Matter, namely that it's a scam. And we'll go back to in 2020 when he was supportive of Black Lives Matter, but you will be able to see he doesn't seem quite sure of it. There seems to be quite a bit more conviction. So this is now going viral on, I guess, Quentin Blackwell's show. I don't know who this person is.
Lynn.
Quinlan. These are all silly names. They're silly names for silly people.
Yeah.
But let's pretend as though we take seriously for a moment Lil Yachty's commentary on Black Lives Matter.
You spent $100,000 on a trip to Disney once. How much have you spent on charitable causes this year? Let's start cooking these pancakes.
This year technically just started, so this year, it's hard to.
What about last year?
Well, last year, it's hard to gauge.
All right. So what about the year before last year?
Oh, well, that year, that's a good year. Yeah, it's just blurry. I be doing so much.
BLM? Since you want to be so black power?
BLM is a scam.
Clip that. Send it to the fucking news.
BLM was literally a scam. They had bought mansions, and you probably wouldn't know anything about it because you don't care about black people.
No.
Follow
I do care about black people. Look at my chocolate. You're mad?
It's a disguise.
Watch
I
this.
think I'm literally the most pro-black person in this room.
Because you have an all-white staff?
They're POC. Thank you. Boy, don't laugh.
I too have a gay. I mean, I don't like them.
That did not go how Quinlan thought it was
No,
going
it
to go.
did not go how she thought it was going to go. And I appreciate it. Now, again, in 2020, he was actively participating in the George Floyd protests. I think back then he would have been 22 years old.
Something like that.
Something like that. But watch it and see if you can spot the difference. There, he seems quite certain that BLM is a scam. Well, that's what happens. Back then, he seemed like he was trying to take part, but didn't really know why.
Do shit like this to get our voices heard, but I feel like, we got to stand for something or fall for anything, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me, as I sat home, and I'm trying to make it add up as to why we have to go through breaking windows, demolishing this is all.
He's against the violence.
This is, I'm saying, we may not own it, but we live here. We raising our families here, and we building up our lives here. So it's unfortunate we gotta do this just to show our frustration.
It seems like in that clip, he showed up thinking Black Lives Matter was protesting the burning down of the cities.
Right.
And wait, y'all did this?
He's like, this is, we're burning down our stuff. So,
When he was a liberal, he was clearly confused, didn't understand it by his own admission. Now, conviction, has seen the facts, goes, yeah, it's a scam. You understand that, right? It is undoubtedly a scam. That shows you that people, their minds can be changed, at least, or they can start moving toward the right direction. So is he concerned? No. Am I going to get on the bandwagon like people do every time someone says they had a conversion, they're a Christian? No, absolutely not. But there are people whose minds can be changed. I hope he ends up being one of them. That's progress. His name is stupid.
His name is Big Stupid.
By the way, Lil Yachty, that's just a Boston whaler.
It really, really is. I love how he connected the dots, though. It wasn't just that BLM was a scam. It's that because she was so pro BLM and was going to try to use that against him, he's like, yeah, because you don't care about black people. You don't actually care about black people. That's the connection that I like that he made.
Yeah.
It's not just that BLM was a scam. He's like, none of y'all actually care about black people. You're just using us.
Yeah, and she turned it, what did she do? She turned it right away skin deep. I got chocolate. I don't care.
My chocolate.
I'm the most pro-black person here, meaning I hate white people more than anybody here.
I understand it. Well, I think you hate people in general.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about mother.
Oh.
Hey, hit the dump button.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go.
No.
I thought you were going to
Cocksuckers.
talk about white people.
Lean on that button, bitches.
This is the Sicilian part. Let's let it look. There's some restitutions. He's still upset about it.
He is a little bit.
Here's a fun one.
Should I know those two colored people?
No.
No.
Yachty and
I don't think Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty.
Lil
Yachty.
Who's Lil Yachty?
Lil Yachty, but a Lil yacht means it's inexpensive. There's nothing cool about a Lil yacht.
That's true.
Little dinghy.
It's just a speedboat.
Yeah.
And who's the black broad who I might bang?
Quinlan.
Queenie.
And what do we know her
I don't
from?
even know.
I don't know. I think
Nick, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Okay, so two random black people with a camera in the kitchen. Who the fuck are they?
The truth is, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Are you, seriously?
We'll get back to you.
We'll never know.
I thought it was the Food
I think
Network.
her parents misremembered the lead character from Jaws, and like, I'm gonna name you Lil Quinlan. You go hunt sharks. So here's a fun one. Yesterday at a hearing for House
Lil Yachty.
for House 4. It's an aquatic theme.
Really?
Lil Yachty,
Yachty,
Quinn,
what the f-
you two made for each other. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
Little jet ski. The Polish rapper. Little jet ski.
Yo, he dumb as hell. Little jet ski. So House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee. I have to get this wrong. It was pretty funny when yesterday Representative Keith. Now I'm doing the black. Keith. Yo, Keith. Yesterday. A hearing at the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee turned.
Now you're doing Victorian English.
I don't know what it is. When Representative Keith Self ironically othered Representative Sarah McBride, or as Sarah is known by his birth name, Tim McHusband. Here's how it went down.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply...
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman?
None of your business, bitch.
Would you repeat what you just said?
Male and female.
When you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America, please.
Calm down, Diane.
The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Nice. Mr.
I love it.
Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I mean, I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Best clip of the year.
It is, and by the way, the left is going, look, by the way, Keith Self got self-owned. Like, are you actually watching a man who is anything other than supremely confident there? He just stares at him. He goes, say mister, one more time. Mister.
I posted on X and I had to take it down.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, what'd you say? Well, I guess.
What? It's
How
not
bad was
The
it?
clip had to be taken down?
Yeah. Well, I took it down because they gave you you can take it down and we can, shoot your mother in the head.
On X?
What a choice.
Yeah. I put a.
What was your commentary to it, Nick? I imagine there's
said,
something else.
tell Mrs. Keating, that's the guy that was mad.
Yeah.
That this administration doesn't play those games anymore. And I said, what a party. And then I said, I yield the rest of my time to the yeast infection with a dick from Delaware.
Well, there's the context.
No, it's the fag thing that got me.
On X, they got rid of that.
I know.
It
was so well worded. People were giving it thumbs up. And
I don't think they do that anymore. Seriously?
You can't. Of course, you can't.
Can you forward us the email?
It's the new N word.
No, come on.
It is.
We can say faggot.
No.
Nor am I giving up retard.
No,
but
you
we'll
can
get to
say
Rosie
it
O'Donnell.
here, but I mean, I don't know of any platform that you can post it.
Rumble.
You can say it. You just can't call anybody.
All right, so hold on a second. Now we're getting off the rails. Faggot. Now, McBride is the first ever trans representative, I guess, at a national. I think there's some like state reps or city council people's-ese. Here's the thing. McBride is not consistent with this. It all depends on who he is dealing with. Here's an example of McBride being introduced as a man in Congress just last month.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride, for 5 minutes.
What the hell is even that?
That's the issue. It's just, again, it becomes a weapon when your outrage is targeted.
Yeah.
Just like the law really might as well not exist unless it's applied equally. Your outrage is of no value if it is selective in its application. Yeah. You're either offended by it or you're not. We know you're clearly not offended. And by the way, just as surely, we know you're a man. Now, I understand that McBride has always been a man who feels like a woman as seen by this hard documented evidence.
I feel like a woman.
Okay, you know what? You can stay a chick because that was surprisingly more uncomfortable than what we see now.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
What's he, 11?
Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell? He looks like he was in high school.
He looks like Michael Cera mid-transition.
Oh, my God.
It's gross.
And by the way, if you want us to be able to continue saying these words and creating this kind of programming, major announcement, of course, this Friday. None of it happens without you. Rumble Premium, you can click that button. $99 for the year, $9.99 a month. Rumble Premium is Mug Club. Mug Club is now Rumble Premium. You get Nick, you get us, you get 100% more show, you get Russell Brand, you get Mr. Gunsgear, you get Donald Trump, Dr. Disrespect, all this. And by the way, what happens on Rumble? Next one. So much news today is tough. It's tough. We just had to we kind of have to rapid fire a few. President Trump, he's like a magnet for wins in a lot of ways. And it's hard to keep up. So we're just going to compile this here. Here are some of the recent wins just in the last 24 hours.
All he do is win, win, win because he's Trump. Trump destroying liberal minds. Leave their asses in the dust, and now that he is in, we get back to building this amazing nation. No. And we gon' stay there.
So, a lot of celebrities said that they would leave the country if President Trump was elected.
Promises.
Hold, Toolman. Rosie O'Donnell wanted to be the first and decided to move to Ireland this year. And immediate potato famine is what followed.
That's right. That's where I was going.
Yeah. Rosie, hasn't Ireland been through enough?
I thought you said celebrities are leaving.
Well, here is actually the first clip that we have from Rosie announcing, and it stings to all us Americans living for Ireland. It really makes you appreciate good retarded acting.
It does, yeah.
She's the real life.
She's
Simple
supposed
Jack.
to be retarded there?
Yeah, I know. It's just tough to tell.
I thought it was an autobiography.
She just. Here is Rosie O'Donnell speaking of unnatural evils and her move to Ireland.
I'm here in Ireland, and it's
how you doing, Dave?
And warm, not physically. It's actually quite cold.
Oh, thanks.
So are you.
In the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents. Although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country. That's what I decided
all the
would
time.
be.
She didn't realize she was so intolerant herself.
And my 12-year-old child.
The one you're touching?
Been
a scissor baby?
heartbreaking to see what's happening politically, and hard for me personally as well.
Upon a hearing of her arrival, the IRA immediately bombed Baskin Robbins.
I can understand. Yeah.
Two flavors about it.
There's only two flavors left.
Lucky for her, one of them was pussy. Come on, folks. If you dump that.
Rosie O'Donnell, we will dump it for YouTube, but that's why people should be watching on Rumble. First off, everything she just said, we can say this, is completely unnatural. She's a lesbian with a 12-year-old daughter or son, and she's 80. Okay, and we have to act as though this is the same as, you meet a 25, 30-year-old. Yeah, hey, mom and dad and a kid. It's like, 80-year-old lesbian, of course you have a child, and move to Ireland because Donald Trump something. She also criticized, by the way, the mainstream media, not The View, not ABC, who hosted her daytime talk show that failed, or NBC, I can't remember, maybe CBS, doesn't matter. She criticized mainstream media, but not her, because media didn't preserve democracy enough through more censorship. I don't know.
The mainstream media has been letting us all down there in America, where the fourth estate is required in order to maintain a democracy. And, they haven't been doing their job. So here's hoping that they will get better before it's too late. And here's hoping it's not too late already.
Think about this for a second. People like Rosie think that the media was doing a better job with the Russia collusion hoax. She thinks the media was doing a better job when they buried a legitimate news story in the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. She thinks they were doing a better job with the Russia P tapes. She thinks they were doing a better job with all of this fabricated news and the censorship and the Department of Misinformation that we saw under Joe Biden. She thinks that's a better job for the media. What she is saying is the media needs to eliminate voices with whom I disagree. That's their utopia. Tell me again who the fascists are.
Wasn't it like 90% negative coverage for Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah.
Some number like that.
Media research.
The last 10%.
So what's it's like income taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's the number? It has to be 100?
Help me.
We pay half in our income tax. Okay, what does it need to be? 90? And eventually, when you pin them down, it's 100% elimination.
She says, me and my child weren't safe there anymore. Nobody ever questions her. What is Trump doing that's endangering you and your child?
Right.
Why does she always get, nobody answers back. This is what I hate.
No.
It's almost like she's a plant.
Yeah.
She's been doing this for years. Nobody ever confronts her on TV, on the internet.
Right.
I want to hear exactly why you were
What, do you put a tariff on Golden Corral?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
She wants her 12-year-old to be able to get an abortion, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
So do I.
Yeah, by the way, she may not know this.
I'm in trouble. I didn't tell you about that.
She may not know that abortion laws are significantly more strict throughout most of Europe. Also, by the way, I'm sure she knows, taxes are much more friendly in Ireland. That's why it's a haven for a lot of people. So that's just a happy coincidence. Let's go on to win number 2. Ontario, not all of Canada, but Ontario, the premier there, Doug Ford. Okay, for those who don't know, obviously Donald Trump said, okay, tariffs. Then the Ontario Premier Doug Ford said, we're actually going to perhaps put a tariff or put a surcharge on electricity, or we may shut off electricity. So then Donald Trump said, now it's double. And Doug Ford immediately backed down, saying, no, okay, we didn't mean that. Here's a clip.
Trudeau right there. I like to get that Justin Trudeau and shove my foot as far up his ass, because I'm sure it goes real far. I'm sure my tickle his nose hairs with my foot up his ass.
Okay, sorry, wrong clip. I know that's his brother, but I will say the other Ford brother seems like the most agreeable crackhead ever.
Yes.
Like, they're usually argumentative. You're just like, yeah, that's a good idea.
I know.
Yeah.
He's smoking that to calm himself down, apparently.
Yeah. We should hang out more. Yeah.
Trudeau's totally gay. You're right.
You're good company. That's anyone else? Have you ever been around a crackhead? That's not usually what they do. They usually scream and claim they're Jesus. Here's the right clip, the other Ford brother.
We will apply maximum pressure to maximize our leverage. That's why today we're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports.
This is back
for
then.
the 1.5 million American homes and businesses that Ontario powers, homes and businesses in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. This surcharge will cost families and businesses in these states up to $400,000 each and every single day. On an average, this will add around $100 per month to the bills of hardworking Americans. Let me be clear. I will not hesitate to increase this charge.
Want to bet? I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah, that was Monday.
That was Monday. Tuesday, 9:15, Trump on Truth Social. Based on Ontario, Canada placing a 25% tariff on, for some reason, quotes, electricity.
I use that too.
Coming into the United States, I have instructed my Secretary of Commerce to add an additional 25% tariff to 50% on all steel, aluminum coming into the USA from Canada, one of the highest tariffing nations anywhere in the world. If any other egregious long-time tariffs are not likewise dropped by Canada, I will substantially increase on April 2nd the tariffs on cars coming into the U.S., which will essentially permanently shut down the automobile manufacturing business in Canada. Those cars can be easily made in the USA. Then Tuesday at 2:40 p.m., same day. Keep in mind, today is Wednesday. Doug Ford immediately backed down while wearing a suit that seems like it's trying to escape his body.
I've agreed to suspend.
Oh my God!
Temporarily, and we always have that tool in our toolkit.
Yeah, you do.
Until we sit down over the next
Barring
day
his
or
clothes
two.
from Jerry
I'll be
Nadler.
heading down to Washington along with Dominic LeBlanc, and we'll have a good discussion.
Yeah, we always have that tool down there, in our toolbox. And when you open the toolbox, it's empty.
It basically says, "Oh no!"
Yeah, I went to my Ryobi shelf, and I wasn't even a Ryobi Milwaukee. It was nothing.
You got to me? Oh,
again, look at the actions versus the rhetoric. People now are trying to talk about the volatility in the stock market. People right now are trying to talk about Donald Trump and his truth, and he shouldn't be saying this. They back down immediately.
Yeah.
Again, my prediction has been no more than a couple of weeks as far as Canada overall coming to the table. But there are a few complications, some wrinkles there with Trudeau stepping down, so maybe it'll take longer. But we see this right away with Ontario, which was the most imminent threat yesterday at 5 p.m. So again, you have Donald Trump yesterday in the morning at 9:15. Then you have Doug Ford going, I was just yanking your chain at 2:40. Then at 5, President Trump addressed Ford's decision. And, once someone plays ball, you see Donald Trump, then this is the carrot. He's saying, okay, good guy.
Already Canada, and I respect very much. As you know, there's a very strong man in Canada who said he was going to charge a surcharge or a tariff on electricity coming into our country. He has called and he said he's not going to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that. And it would have been a very bad thing if he did, and he's not going to do that, so I respect that.
He's like Gotti. He's like Gotti.
Hey, man, I told him you're not going to do that.
No.
He's not going to do it. He's bluffing because he's a pussy. 6 p.m., Trump officially halted the plan to double the tariffs. The other ones still will go into effect unless they come to an agreement on everything else. Hey, comment below. Are you seeing those results? This matters. We also just had some numbers come out as far as inflation today, which, again, it probably doesn't have that much to do with this administration, but it's moving the right direction. Nothing
big
huge.
time, 2.8% inflation. That's why the stock market went up. So
yeah, I think core CPI was 3.1. But let's go to another one. Go ahead.
I thought Trump could have handled that a little better after he calls the guy and says, well, look, here's your choices. You're going to become a state.
Yeah, 50 for state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to drop that tariff you just try to put on.
Yeah. Well,
he could have done it, but he'll do that later on.
I think Canada.
I love Canada. I like people are very polite.
We need to separate it into 3 states so we don't screw up our voting block.
Yes.
But
I don't want them as a state. I just want their resources.
Okay, we'll just take their resources and give them none of the benefits.
And what is that, toothless hockey place?
Or what are they going to do?
No.
Protest taxation without representation? They have the queen on their money.
Be careful. They said elbows up.
Yeah, that's right. They said elbows up.
They have the queen on their money, who, Trudeau?
You're incorrigible. Do you see when he was resigning? He sounds more gay. It's like Anderson Cooper with a couple drinks in him. He's like, well, look, you can always keep me in your heart. It's like, okay, Prime Minister Dom DeLuise. It's just bizarre. He gets more gay as time goes on.
the boys.
Keep me in your heart. I'll keep you in my top drawer next to your butt plug.
Oh, come on. Sing in the Navy with me. We would, but you don't have one. Yeah. All right.
Let me show you this.
Department of Education. This is one that is near and dear to my heart because it has been a scam for a very long time. There are now cuts coming to the DOE. That was a campaign promise. The left said, oh my gosh, can you believe if we defund the Department of Education, we'll have no schools left? No, it'll mean that we actually go back to states running the schools where measurable test scores were better. So nearly half of the Department of Education was fired last night.
Afuera.
The DC office.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
And some other regional offices, I believe, closed today. References, link in the description as always. 1,300 people laid off. 572 accepted voluntary resignation opportunities. So that's fun. Early retirement, I guess, severance, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And this is something. Well, we have a 3 and 3 for those of you who don't know this podcast that we have. It's on audio. It's 3 key facts in 3 minutes or less on the topics that you need to know most or you want to know or understand most. It's not going to cover everything, but it's a good starting point. We give you the references so you can peruse them. I mean, the Department of Education was the easiest one we've ever done. We've spent about $2 trillion since 1979. We have seen no improvement in standardized testing. Math scores are the lowest since 1990. Reading scores are the lowest since 2004. You can go and check out that 3 and 3 wherever you listen to podcasts. Anyone saying that this is going to be detrimental to our schools and our kids, they don't understand the grift that has been going on.
Right.
The only way you can believe that is if you believe that our education system is working flawlessly or even successfully, really to any degree. It's an abysmal failure, arguably the worst federal failure that we have seen in half a century. You can comment below if you disagree. That's my opinion. And you'd have to believe status quo, more money. Status quo, more money will fix the Department of Education. Well, it hasn't fixed it since the 70s. Remember, President Trump was very clear about this, agree or disagree with his policy. This is a promise made and a promise delivered. Here's him talking about putting Linda McMahon in charge and hopefully her putting herself out of a job.
Why nominate Linda McMahon to be the Education Department Secretary if you're going to get rid of the Education Department?
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job. Education Department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. and we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice, but in addition to that, I want the states to run schools.
Well, here we are. So remember this. The left is telling you, oh my gosh, schools are going to fold. Our children will have no more access to education. Right now, where we are, math scores lowest since 1990. You can check the link in the description. All references there. Reading scores, their lowest since 2004. We have spent $2 trillion and our performances, the results have not improved. So again, I ask, what's the number? What is the number? Rosie said, hey, the media didn't do enough to stop Trump. About 90% negative coverage. So what's the number? 100%? When people say, hey, the taxes aren't high enough. Okay, it's about 50% if you're in certain states. What's the number? Is it 90%? $2 trillion. Nothing to show for it with the Department of Education. What's the number? 4 trillion? 5 trillion? Can you tell me? The long-lasting effects, by the way, the negative effects of the DOE on our school system, I mean, they're easy to see, and they can certainly be seen even right now in everyday life.
1433, that's 5 ones, 2 quarters. 1433 is 5 ones and 2 quarters. And 17 cents less than 20.
If that was Rosie O'Donnell, she'd just go, quarters! See, that's good retarded acting.
Sean Penn didn't have to do much research.
No, exactly. It wasn't a stretch.
Yeah.
God, I'm glad I wasn't in that line. I would open his head with a fucking axe.
This is the guy who said that Chavez was one of the greatest leaders of our time. Remember that?
Yes.
What the media has done to vilify this man as criminal. All right. Okay, Spicoli, we get it.
Yeah. And by the way, what I think they're going to trot out on all of the networks is basically, the school programs are going to go away. The kids won't be able to eat. No. Here's what's going to happen. All that money that was being spent most likely will just go back down to the states so that they can spend it. Here's what you won't have anymore: the DOE to hide behind. You have to own your failure now.
Yeah.
Governor Walz was actually posting about this today on X, saying, I can't believe they're going to do this. I'm like, hey, maybe you should do a good job. Now you have no one else to blame.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, but we won't get to see Randy Weingarten's face anymore.
That's a good point.
I want her
you know what else, though? Here's one thing, too. We talk about this, right? The American worker, you subsidize the world. That's the truth. You subsidize socialized health care in Europe, in Canada. None of these people meet their NATO spending, Poland notwithstanding. Thank you, Poland. Yeah. You subsidize the world. When you write that check out to the IRS, know that that is going to international defense. When people in Germany talk about how they have free internet, how they have free healthcare, that's because of you. Pat yourself on the back. You paid for it. That's going to have to shift. But since the left loves Europe so much, they always point to them for healthcare. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but we're bigger than pretty much every country when we're talking about Europe, right? We have 50 effectively European countries. If you look like a country like France or Ireland, if we actually allow the Department of Education, right, to dissolve and go back to the states, we can do what Europe does. We spend more money than almost any other nation with the worst performances. What's so bad about seeing, hey, Texas maybe is a little France, Florida is an Ireland, California is whatever crappy country, Greece. Are they still bankrupt? I don't know. They don't want to retire. They don't have to wait until 56 or whatever the hell it is. The point is, hey, it's not a money issue. Why can't we do what these other much smaller countries? They have public education. Why does it work better there? I was raised in Canada. Canada does almost nothing right, to be clear. Public education there is better. And I'll tell you why, because I could go to any school that I wanted to. I didn't even understand the concept until I moved to the United States. If I was willing to get on a bus or my parents were willing to drive me, I had my choice of about 4 high schools in my area. That's a huge, just that is a huge difference.
Okay. As far as what you said, Norway. What was the other? Sweden. What country did you just mention?
I mentioned Ireland, UK, France, Greece.
Yeah, and Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, they're all missing something that we have here that brings down the numbers. I'll let you figure it out.
Not in France or you. Oh, I get it. That's why you said Norway. That makes sense. They also have giants. Like
what I meant was black people
of the world's strongest men.
That's a joke, folks.
They have the population of Delaware. It's true. It's true. People point to other countries where they have an entirely homogenous culture. Right. They're very, very small. Hey, it is going to be, let's take Norway and now make a quarter of that country or a third of it just a bunch of Ugandan immigrants. We've seen it. It changes.
Right. Doesn't work.
It doesn't work because you don't have the same unified culture.
Right.
The most important stat that I've ever heard, we did this in a Change My Mind. Someone can, Mission Control, you can bring it up. I have it in a previous note. They'll often say, hey, quality of life is better, for example, in Sweden or in Denmark. It's true. But the most telling stat is that Swedes in America have a 50-something% higher quality of life than Swedes in Sweden.
Right.
Danes in America have a 50-60% higher quality of life than in Denmark. So when you take those people with that culture, that work ethic, right, that idea of self-preservation, that idea of responsibility, self-reliance, and you take them to a place with opportunity, they do better. That's the control group that you want to study. And I'm amazed that more people don't talk about it. To me, it's the checkmate.
Yeah. By the way, on CNN right now, they're saying that Trump greets Irish leader. Apparently, he came over here to get us to take Rosie back.
Yes, exactly.
All of one day.
Look. We know we've had our differences. All right, but our GDP can't take it. We've got no potatoes. We've got no ice cream. Plus, we are already stuck full of. Okay, we can't have any more. She's so fat.
She's the unhappiest person ever to walk the earth.
She looks it, too.
Yeah, she's just a miserable. And this is what happens. Somebody handed her a career.
Yeah.
She has zero fucking talent.
Yeah.
Other than, again, goblin go. Just a hateful person. And I hope she dies. Go ahead.
We have never,
eventually.
We have never had an earthquake in Ireland, not in recent memory, until Rosie came here, took a step class.
Exactly.
I was hoping that's your old bit about her. What brought down the second tower.
Yeah, the second building.
I was trying to cue you up. I remember your bits. No. I'm not lifting from him.
No, I let you go with it. I knew where you were.
What was it? That's it. She said, you used to have a bit because she was a 9/11 truther.
Yeah.
And she would say, there's no way.
that second building could have come down.
Yeah, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. She's like, there's no way that second building could have come down unless it was.
I said, there's a way if you took a step class on the top floor. Yeah. And that's when she was fat, folks. It ripped the tits off the crowd.
Yeah, well, thank God for Ozempic.
Oh.
Still doesn't fix her hellbound soul. All right.
You got the face of a French bulldog, don't you?
Oh, her.
Not
I was
you.
like, I could.
Oh, no.
I could.
Oh, you're a terrier.
No. All right. I don't like the terrier group. You know why? It's too big of a group. You have pit bulls in there, and you have Yorkshires. Like, what does it even mean?
I don't follow any of these canine things.
Yeah, well, that's
too busy with wine.
It's not un-American.
After the Thanksgiving parade, you watch some old lady at Westminster stick her thumb up a dog's ass. That's the tradition.
You don't.
Oh my God.
You don't.
You ever notice that? That's how they get them so straight.
I didn't know that was a thumb. I thought it was a tongue.
They're like, all right, get in the right position and. So,
how do you think they got Mr. Ed's lips to move?
And it's always these awful dogs that win.
Hey, that was a Cheryl, the fastball down the middle.
All right. Here's the big one. Okay, a peace deal with Ukraine. So again, with President Trump, watch. I've said this. You, the American worker, you subsidize the world. Okay, the left right now, their mantra is very clear. Their solution to everything is status quo and more money. And I want you to, as it relates to this administration, no one is perfect, look at results. The more you can eliminate feelings from it, the more you'll be able to see our situation for what it is. There's good and there's bad, mostly good. Watch what President Trump does, not just what he talks about. This, of course, is very important as it relates to Ukraine, because we always knew the strategy as it relates to Ukraine. And I also want you to see, if you want to have a good gauge for who's a propagandist out there, look at the people who were saying that Donald Trump was Russia's stooge.
Yeah.
And have flipped now, saying, "I can't believe it. He's in bed with Ukraine." That's what you see right now. And we'll get to these Russian representatives, because we found out yesterday that Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire. They have agreed to a ceasefire. There's a deal that proves it. But just in case you haven't been up to date on this, we have a then and now to prove it. So remember, back then, President Trump he's a stooge for Putin. He's buddying up with dictators. He is abandoning our greatest ally, a beacon of democracy, Ukraine.
Ukraine may not survive.
So for now, we're going to focus a lot more on what he's doing. And since last Friday's fight in the Oval Office, the things he's doing are hurting Ukraine and helping Vladimir Putin.
Donald Trump's decision to abandon Ukraine and side with Vladimir Putin is disgusting. And it's dangerous for every American.
Where Donald Trump and J.D. Vance
looks like a gargoyle mid-transition.
Demonstrating a certain amount of strength.
A dumb astronaut.
What they really showed the American
First
people
dumb
and the rest of the
astronaut
world
ever.
was weakness. Abandoning our ally.
For the first time in modern history, we have a president who is aligning himself with authoritarian governments all over the world.
His moves are either idiotic.
He looks like he just glanced
or
at the Ark of the
clearly
Covenant.
Designed to
Just a little.
Ukraine in favor of Putin.
I mean, he just glanced like, oh, thank God I stopped. That was a close one.
These guys talk for a living.
I know.
They talk for a living. They think they know more than Trump. It really is embarrassing.
Well, the best example, of course, is a man whose neck really does defy science, Adam Schiff, just yesterday morning.
Oh, my God.
Between the two of these people, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they have betrayed an ally at war. What they have done with Ukraine has been just shameful. This president who claims
looks
that
like a
he's
bobblehead.
the great
He does. He's in the back window of a Chevy.
Art of the deal
On
has
Sunset
been
Boulevard.
sabotaging Ukraine in advance of any peace negotiation.
Sabotaging. Okay.
How does he still have a
Marco
job?
Rubio, Elon Musk talking about how Ukraine is going to have to give up its territory, talking about how Ukraine's not going to become a member of NATO, essentially undercutting them in every way, withdrawing military support, withdrawing intelligence support, withdrawing diplomatic support. And we're supposed to believe, as Donald Trump just said in that interview, that no one's ever been tougher on Russia.
I will tell you, that is a neck where that man has had to proactively avoid any active labor.
That's true, yeah.
It just doesn't occur anywhere in nature.
It'll pop off.
So that's his statement. And then 6 hours later, only 6 hours, brings us to now.
6 hours.
Ukraine agreed to the proposed from the United States ceasefire deal.
Today, we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally thank, we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball's now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Rubio also posted this on X. The ball is now in Russia's court. So remember all the people were saying, hey, why are they siding with... Well, at one point, Putin said that they would come to the table. And now, okay, your move. By the way, this administration also restored funding and intelligence sharing to Ukraine. So you play ball, you come in, you try and embarrass our president and vice president in our own Oval Office. Yeah. Guess what? Things don't go well. You do the right thing, okay, it's stick and carrot. Now, just to give you an idea as to how this narrative has flipped, you have this they call him the Putin whisperer. He doesn't have an official role, but he basically is kind of official. Alexander Dugin, right? He wrote 1 week ago, just 1 week ago, this is the second overlay, he wrote, Great speech of Trump. Now it is not only about politics, but about ideology, new values, traditional, American, new law, new economy, new geopolitics, new approach to administration, new tariffs, politic, new America, golden age for some, for others, the end of their world. This is a pro-Russia stooge propagandist. But now, just now, he wrote, no MAGA projects, no JFK documents, no Epstein list. Continue to fight evil Russians. Quote, for some reason, give still some more money to fraud midget Zelensky. Great result of American conservative revolution.
I don't think he's a fraudulent midget. He is a midget a little bit.
He definitely is that.
I wouldn't call him a fraud midget.
Yeah. So, again, what do you guys say? Where do you line up? Objectively, at this point, was he a Putin stooge? Or does it now mean that he's a Zelensky stooge? Maybe he foresaw this. Maybe he was actually trying to leverage our position so that we could get a better deal. And even if Russia doesn't agree, we still have this picture of Marco Rubio next to Ukrainian diplomats right here. So there you go. It was weird that the one guy wore the green tie. He's like, I'm going to match the flag.
That guys are massive. Holy cow. What are they feeding you in Ukraine?
They're big people. Well, those people are big. Well, Rubio's not a very large guy.
He's the guy in the middle.
He's decently big. Like, Rubio's no slouch.
It's a Cowboys draft pick.
Yes, he is.
And who's the guy on the right? He looks like photo negative, Killer Mike.
Yeah.
It's like Amish Suge Knight.
He looks like that guy that threw Omar to the helicopter in Scarface.
Yes, exactly. Anything else you wanted to add?
I was just going to say that I hate that the media thinks you can just insult Putin to the negotiating table. Yeah. It's never going to work. Donald Trump has done a good job of wooing them to the negotiating table and then saying, hey, you know what? Nobody's going to be happy with this.
Mm-hmm.
You had a president, you had an administration, you had an entire European community, you had the entire world basically calling him evil, except for a handful of countries, and they weren't going to be a part of the peace process anyway. And you thought he was going to come to the table and expect a fair deal? You had to reset things a little bit, and it's a little messy in public, but it's working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For now. Let's give it a shot.
They say that about mediation, too, in law. Both sides will walk away unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good mediation.
Yeah.
Nobody's happy.
And I guess in this case, you're going to have the influencers and people who are actually shills for one side or the other who haven't looked at this objectively. I guess all sides are mad. So good job. This has been Then and Now. Oh, by the way, Nick, you have to get ready for your interview.
Oh, yeah.
We have coming up.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is also, by the way, right now, it's Gene Shalit, but not him, on CNN talking about RFK
Peter
Jr.
Hotez.
Yeah, I don't care. It's Gene He'll always be Gene Shalit to me.
Gene Shalit.
And they're complaining about RFK Jr. saying that it's difficult for measles to kill a healthy person.
Yeah.
How is that? Does this
because it killed
a flashback to COVID for you guys? It's accurate.
They used to try to get measles. Do you not remember the shows about this? Or not cartoons, but
I remember
shows?
chickenpox parties.
Chickenpox parties, they kind of had measles. He was like, yeah, I called Dad and I had measles. Basically, I just got to stay home and nothing really happened. You know, like, I'm not downplaying that measles can, end up being fatal for some people, but that wasn't how it was viewed. We weren't like, oh no!
I thought I was having a measles party, but it was a bachelor party in syphilis.
Yeah. No, I totally.
After solving Ukraine, President Trump is going to move on to Gaza, as we hear. And here to debate it now, I believe he's prepared, is our own Nick DiPaolo and James Carville in Studio B. Okay, Nick DiPaolo, I believe you're set up there. Please welcome to the show Democratic strategist James Carville. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, topic is Trump's plan for Gaza. Nick, your thoughts on what he said?
I think that's a great idea. Is my language. Not Jordan, not any of the surrounding countries. They don't want any of these Palestinians. And people say, why? They just first of all, they voted in Hamas for the last 20 years, so they get what they deserve. But I could see Trump turning that into a beautiful mall with a nice food court with Jew food.
Now, this is the kind of, I have to cut in here. This is the kind of rhetoric that's the problem with American politics today. Thinking that you're going to own Gaza, the United States of America. Not taking reality into account. There's no part of this anymore, the strategy, party, it's just cheerleading. And the words that he's using to refer to an entire nation are people very offensive and not conducive to how politics used to be. Nick, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Why should I be ashamed of myself? It's your party that's been sending Hamas billions of dollars and Iran and keeping the terrorists in business that kill our American soldiers and are trying to kill us. Why should I be embarrassed?
Listen here, fettuccine f***it.
Oh, now take it easy.
You
Jay, no
didn't
need
give
for that.
one,
James, come on now, that's not...
You didn't give 2 gator strips. What happened to American troops when you were shipping them off to fight this falsified war on terror? Now you want to play high and mighty that you care about the troops. It's dishonest, it's disingenuous, and it's the kind of politics that have to stop. And it's why, if we're alone together in a room, I will shred you like a brick of Parmesan and sprinkle you on your offspring.
Did you say a brick of Parmesan?
I will carry out...
Excuse me, James, did you say a brick of Parmesan?
I will carry out, Nick DiPaolo, I want you to listen very carefully. When politics aside, I will commit an ungodly, felonious assault on you and members of your kin. And that's not hyperbole, that's between you and me. It will be painful and it will be drawn out.
Sounds like my honeymoon.
I hope I made myself clear. It's all fun and games until you're missing a face.
You were a lot nicer guy, James, when you were a prick. Back in the 80s when you were relevant. But now you're just a sad LSU grad. You got lucky meeting Clinton, probably at a bathhouse. I don't know why they still go to you.
Come on, get over there.
You grit-eating.
I'm getting over there.
Wait, he ain't in the same building as me, is he?
It makes sense when you know that Carville has been he's been using gummies on his work days. By the way, it's time to tell you about American financing. If you guys are looking, especially I think interest rates have just come down a little bit.
Maybe just a little?
Just a little bit. No
Want to
upfront
refinance?
fees. If you want to refinance, close in as fast as 10 days, call 1-800-974-6500 or AmericanFinancing.net/creditor. Let them help you out. You could potentially delay up to 2 mortgage payments, and it's a good time to have a professional here helping you with that.
And MLS 182334.
Yeah, I guess we have to say that so that we don't get sued.
And 18233.
Okay, we got it. Speaking of getting sued, this is going to be a fun. You know what? Maybe we could do this whole segment here because we're talking about Rumble Premium. If you're not a member, you can click that. We have a 7+1, and then the surprise for Mr. DePaulo. We can start that clip as we go into Rumble Premium because I want to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Let's thread that needle.
It's gonna be fun.
So dig that about you,
Ben and Jerry, our country's most beloved hairy homosexuals who hawk ice cream. They celebrated abortion with this post on X saying, "Today is National Abortion Provider Appreciation Day. We stand with abortion providers today and every day," just in case that wasn't clear. I mean, I hate to say this, I think Ben and Jerry's are a little bit inoculated against a sort of boycott and boycott because if you want Ben, there's just no other ice cream like it. It's just...
You say that with pain in your voice.
Well, it's just because, you know, like you got
good.
your basic flavors, you know what I mean? You got like your mint and you got your chocolate, and then Ben and Jerry's just like, just put everything in it.
Whatever kid
You
does
could go to like a Cold Stone
at the toppings bar.
I don't think those exist anymore.
No, it's other stuff now.
No, I think
they got a new flavor, cat shit and cream.
Yes, exactly. That probably does. I mean, you know they're cat guys, Ben and Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't even own the company anymore, as I understand it. It's just a new, after the corporate takeover, they said, these guys are such good spokesmen, we want to keep them on.
Yeah. Let's pay you more money.
So here we are with Ben and Jerry. It seems like this is one of those issues when people talk about woke corporations. Okay, if we're talking about American history, maybe someone wants to stand up and you know tell you that we've committed atrocities. All right, fine. But when you're talking about National Abortion Provider Appreciation Day, this is an example of a company that should and could say nothing and no one would know the difference. You absolutely should sit this one out. This company, clearly, Ben & Jerry's, they want you to know, you, the American worker, by the way, who subsidizes the world, you, the person who elects presidents, they want you to know that they hate you. And they're going to take every opportunity available to them, including a made-up holiday to celebrate the death of largely black American babies, which brings us to this week's 7+1.
You forgot to find in the chamber.
It's 7+1, Ben & Jerry's Abortion Provider Appreciation Day ice creams.
This ought to be good.
Limited edition. And with this one, for those of you out there, if you're like a Bluebell guy, you won't, which I know, you're probably a fan of Listeria. If you don't understand the flavors of it, this may not make sense to you. These are actually...
some research.
Yeah, these are actually...
Rewatch.
They're sort of reissues of their standard flavors.
Right.
7+1, Ben & Jerry's Pro-Abortion Ice Cream Flavors. Number 7, Gerald, kick us off.
Chunky placenta.
Oh, well, that's disgusting. But it seems like something they would do.
Bad.
7+1, Ben & Jerry's pro-abortion ice cream flavors. Number 6, Stem Cell Jubilee. That seems like they're just wedging in.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Number 5, Nick DiPaolo.
Netflix and Killed.
Oh, I get.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Netflix and Chill? Is their standard one?
Yeah, with a different outcome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And 7+1, Ben & Jerry's pro-abortion flavors. Number 4, Straw Baby Cheese Fetus.
Oh, Straw Baby.
Yeah.
I missed that. You guys are gross.
You sting.
7+1 pro-abortion flavors from Ben & Jerry. Number 3 would have been a Garcia.
Oh, no.
I love
it. Number 2, Nick DiPaolo.
Everything but the stirrups.
Oh, hey. It was either that or forceps.
Oh, my God.
You can comment in chat as opposed to not. And the number 1 flavor coming from Ben & Jerry's, a special edition for Abortion Provider Appreciation Day. Number 1, Gerald.
Out of this uterus.
Oh, hey. I guess, well, in a manner of speaking. And the plus 1, if you're lucky, lights, caramel, murder. This has been this week's 7 plus 1.
You forgot the van in the chamber.
Oh, umbilical and onion.
There you go.
I just wanted to throw. I didn't get your text.
It sounds like something Shrek would have in his hut. At that point.
Oh my mama!
I just Ben & Jerry. It's just I'm not going to lie to you though. Their ice cream is generally better. It's really good
I don't
ice cream.
think I've ever had Ben & Jerry's.
Oh my God!
If I have, it's like one time.
What is wrong with you?
No, I mean, I don't know, stuff.
As a matter of fact, Ben & Jerry's are chunky. They're chunky.
That was a good
That's a great explanation.
Their Chunky Monkey is the only banana flavored anything that I like.
Oh, I love banana flavored.
Oh no, I like bananas. I hate banana flavored.
Banana flavored popsicles.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God!
Strawberry banana, you're missing out on.
It
I
tastes
go to
like
a
medicine.
black store in Savannah to get them.
Well, if it's a real
I'm not
banana,
kidding. That wasn't a racial crack.
Sure. I don't know how it would
I'm
be.
serious.
It's okay. You can compliment people of other races.
No, I didn't mean that. Serious.
And my brother's that way with cherry. He likes cherries, hate cherry flavored.
I like a lot of.
I hate mango flavored things.
Yeah, me
I like
too.
mango.
I'm not a mango. I don't like peach. Peach is my favorite fruit.
But peach flavor?
Peach flavored anything, douche, all that.
It's disgusting. Yeah. Mango flavor, it tastes like when a cat pissed on my porch one day. It's what that smells like. That's what mango flavored things
taste
like.
your porch?
High acidity.
I didn't. I smelled it. Look, it's the olfactory senses. It says they're all joined. I don't know. I'm not an ENT. Which I have a weird thing in my. Am I gonna die? Hey, do we have the clip here? Actually, so this is look.
Burr.
We're gonna continue. Okay, I know it's gonna get loud.
You need a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why? You're making me nervous here.
No, I'm just saying because I know you came up in Boston. Bill Burr is a Bostonian. You guys were both on Tough Crowd. You've crossed paths quite a
As long
bit.
as he doesn't mention me, I'm not going to hurt him.
No. I know you're not going to hurt him, but I think you're not going to like this. I don't know why this is trending now. I believe this interview was last week, I think, with NPR, but I had heard it either earlier in the week or before that. Now, Bill Burr at one point was poised to be probably, one of the top comics of this generation. And there has been an absolute switching over. And people, look, their views develop. I understand that. The question is why. And what you're seeing now from Bill Burr, if you listen to this rant, is he has simply consumed everything that has come out of legacy media, hook, line, and sinker. He's lost his ability to question things. And we're going to get, you'll hear him talk about Elon Musk and the Nazi salute. First off, a day late and a dollar short. And it's been readily debunked.
Yeah.
There's a difference between going from, all right, being sort of a curmudgeon, who's sort of a populist, right? He was big on the Bilderbergs and conspiracy theories back in the day and the gold standard. Going from that to being more moderate. That's not the same as going from what he was to accepting basically the point of view presented daily on The View. I don't know how it happens. Here's him reciting the tired old talking points about this administration and Elon Musk. And he still says it in a way so he seems edgy. He's like, dude, he's a Nazi, right? Right? We're all right. Like everyone's racist, right? What are you, a transphobe now? Huh? Right? You're like, what? This isn't funny. Watch.
Where my comedy act is right now is I'm trying to get regular people to stop yelling at each other and realize